Hello, everybody. Counting down under a minute. Let us know you're here in the comments. Say hello. Cindy wants to hear from you. Excellent. Excellent. Tom joined us. There we go. We can do it. We can figure this out. We can figure this out. All right, Susan. Excellent. Darlene's here. Good, good, good. So we're going to do 4 5-minute sketches tonight, guys. I hope you are ready. So hopefully when this countdown stops, we start. If not, we may be going live again. And Sue's here. Hey, Sue. Hey, and it worked out. So we're up and going. Hi, everybody. Slowly but surely, we're getting this down. We're getting it down. So as I said, we're going to do about 5 minutes for each of these. And I thought it was going to be more than enough time. But just so you guys can see it better, I started doing this over an entire page, 1 image per page. So I don't get quite as far as I wanted to, but we get to where we get and we move on. Okay, right here I've got the Vine charcoal and I'm just preparing kind of a gray background. I don't know where my Vine charcoal is. I wonder if it's still over. Yes, that's it. That's it. Busy day. Yeah, I can hear that. I hear that. We had a nice little ceremony today, kind of a drive-through ceremony that Isabella bridged from, that's what I said, bridged to cadet in Girl Scouts. And Lori Furman, for those of you who don't know, is my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful mother-in-law, Izzy's grandma and Cindy's mom. She has a little bit of a headache because evidently I was stepping on the brakes too hard this afternoon at the bridging ceremony. So sorry about that, Lori. Hope you recover. So, hey, it's been a while since we don't get out much anymore. Lost my touch. Yeah, and it was a new car. New car to me, I should say. All right, I'm feeling out the grapes. Hi, Shakti. Everybody's here. Shakti. Oh, painting will. Well, I see what you did there. All right, it took me. Darlene said she's been really, really busy, and I was saying yes, but she was like, Will E. Bum bum bum. I like that. That scores as a dad jokes, and I'm all on those. Izzy's not a big fan, but I'm all over them. So I'm moving probably way too slow for what we're doing. I am a really, really, really slow guy. So I didn't get nearly as far as I want. But one of the things that's important about these grapes is getting good negative shape. So I don't know if you noticed, but I actually drew the negative shapes. I kind of generalized the grapes and then I made the negative shapes concrete. And as I do this top one, I'm looking at the negative shape between that grape and the last one there on top that I just did. Okay. I'm not always that careful because we can come back and cut into it, and in oil paint especially, but I didn't know how we would do on time here. And like I said, I'm just warming up. It's funny how you have to warm up to get loose, but it's true. It takes a little warming up to get loose. Izzy says that's the definition of dance. She's our little dancer. Mama was a dancer, is a dancer, and Izzy is a dancer. I draw and paint stuff. Izzy gets embarrassed if I move too much. Can you just sit still, Dad? Okay, again, I want to think about this as a mass, but I want to be careful about those negative shapes there. And that little tail of, what am I, stem, that stem. You see the gesture of that stem? And then with a few little highlights, we'll be on our way. What, sweetie? Oh, it does look like a heart. Izzy has two hearts meeting, two grapes meeting that look like a heart, called skill. You're extremely skillful. Okay, a couple of highlights because our time's winding down on this one. Again, so we're just looking at these big shapes and big shapes of a dark, a gray in the background, and then a light and a highlight on this one, right? And trying to make an interesting visual shape. Okay, how are your grapes looking? Izzy's looking good over here. She's got some good looking grapes. She's got a nice stem. But that stem is an important part of this because it's such a different nature than the dark shapes of the grape. All right, so let's get those changed out and start our second one. Oh my goodness. All right, we're getting there, guys. Here we go. Had everything locked up. So brass pitcher, we're gonna do 5 minutes on this as well. And of course I ran out of time, but what I was hoping is that by keeping these simple, that we could get to the background and really see how the background can interact with these things. But I forgot that as I'm working larger, it takes more time. So I didn't get nearly as far on these as I did some of the other ones. But I hope that you could see them better. So let me know if you like this better, this bigger format. Part of what I'm figuring out is what are good sizes to work so that it reads with the camera and all that jazz. Don't bring music into it. Is that your territory? Yeah, all right. So just kind of massing that whole thing in there, trying to work a little faster, but I'm a turtle, what can I say? A turtle. And then I can come back and give that highlight a little bit of a glow by using the kneaded eraser to get down to the tone paper, and then I'll go on to that, inside that with the white. Darlene's a fan of the larger format. Right on, I thought you might be. Sorry, baby. You can just scrape that off. I'm experimenting with all these formats, different formats and layouts to see what works the best. So if you do see something you really like, let me know. If you do see something you really hate, let me know. But do it softly. I'm a sensitive soul. Izzy and Cindy are laughing at me. But it's true, I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. Maybe not with breaks, but I'm sensitive. So Isabella is a cadet. Thank you. Thanks, Lori. Is a cadet, which means that the girls are now responsible for running their meetings and everything entirely themselves. The leaders, the cadet through high school. Oh, cadet vest through comments. No comment. Thank you, Lori. Remember, yeah, remember, this is my workplace. It's my workplace, so. So, and then that, the bottom as that flutes out, it also has a little side that goes down. If you can make note of that, little things like that can make a big difference. And that'll differ where the light and the shadow goes because of the angle of the light. Again, this is more just like doing our exercises. We're not trying to get anything finished. You know, whether it's ugly or not, it doesn't matter. Just pull the pencils out and start sketching, right? We're not publishing these. Nobody's got to see them. Just get our hands and our brains working, our eyes working, learning to see those big pieces. Can you smudge your smudge? Yeah, well, it depends sometimes. And that's part of what you want to feel is how much can you do with this material, right? Like how does the stump wear off versus the chamois? And don't leave that on the carpet, by the way, because it's really dirty. That's all right. It's just dirty. It's got charcoal everywhere. Bo's letting us know he's unhappy about something. He's unhappy about something. Okay, and don't be too uptight about this. Just the joy of making the marks. Joy of mark making. All right, I think we're about to finish that one up. Let's see. Nope. There we go. I'll get it. I'll get it soon, guys. Get it soon. All right. This is one of I've done a few paintings of this vase. It's one of my favorites. I just really, really like the shape of this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a background of kind of a gray. So this is the vine charcoal. That'll smudge down a little bit darker on that corner coming across. And then I'm going to pull the light side of the vase out with the kneaded eraser. And then the dark side will just go darker than the background, which is what I'm starting here is the shadow shape. So remember, we're basically working with four values, a shadow, a gray, which is our background and our air, the tone of the paper, which is our light, and then the white, which is our highlight. And we're just trying to make interesting patterns with those four values and trying to hold them together into just a couple. Like this grape, I'm going to cast shadow on the floor, and then I'm going to tie that to the other dark, rather than leaving that as a dark that's not connected. Always looking for ways to connect my shapes. And you only need one side of this really. Why? Because the other side's going to mirror it. So if you found one side, then just go and mirror it on the other side. And a vase, like a face and a body, is symmetrical. It's got symmetry. So whatever's happened on one side's happening on the other. So make sure it matches up. Right, and in these quick sketches, sometimes it's hard to get the pieces um, too exactly symmetrical. So don't get too caught up if the drawing's not exactly right. You know, try to get it as close as possible. But remember, we're more interested in the big patterns right now than the little details. And that neck, I'm just going to make the same value as the air. And I'm letting that air kind of waft through the bottom of that thing before it flutes back out to the base. Do you like that word, waft? Yes. Izzy thought that's silly. Usually my vocabulary, she either thinks it's silly or I get an eye roll. So I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'm not wrong is what she says. Uh, she always wants to know, Dad, why can't you just be normal? And I tell her, I said, you're so lucky you got a unicorn for a dad. A yodeling artist in the house. How many other fathers yodel? I asked her. She says none. I know, poor Izzy. She's got it rough. Okay, that little line, that little light on top's really, mm, so it's not lined up perfect, right? That's okay. That's okay. This is just an exercise of seeing, right? Get it as close as you can, and if you correct it, but don't let the little detail or being off a little bit stop you from moving forward, right? 5 minutes is not very long. I know my crazy hair, and I just showered today, and it looks like I haven't. What does that say about me? But we were at a bridging ceremony, so it got pretty wild. You know those Girl Scouts. I was getting into it, leaning down, trying to see what I was doing. So softening the edge here, because remember our edge sequence, hard where something starts, soft as it transitions into shadow, and then hard where it ends. So I'm just running that straight through the background to open this thing up to help with the movement. All right, so even with these few materials, we can make this feel like it's emerging. Give it a sense of actuality, if you will. Actuality, that's a good word, and I like hearing you say it. Actuality. So I double dog dare you to say that in class sometimes this week. Actuality. Like there's more actuality in there, like it actually feels like instead of a two-dimensional drawing that it's actually there. So part of your assignment's figuring out how to use it correctly with your teacher. Yeah, that would be cool, huh? I think so. Oh, is our 5 minutes up? Yep, time to move on. All right, so we're gonna close this one and open our last one here. So this will be the last one for the night. Another 5 minutes. I may give you guys a few more minutes. I think I added another minute or two in the end of this one. So the Japanese water jug is a dark. Those grapes are a dark, so we want to just run that into a single shape. And then we've got the highlight, little bitty highlights on the grape, a big highlight on the vase, some small ones, and then some of the light and shadow on the leaves. So that's what I'm looking at and looking for those rhythms. Last one, baby girl. Come on, you can do it. Finish strong. Finish strong. You can do it. I know you'd rather babysit mama, but she's got it back there. She's got it. All right. Notice one of the things that I'm doing when I'm working in charcoal is I work light, but more in mass than in line. I may use line to kind of try to say about here, but then I try to mass to it or mass from it. Right. And the other thing is I don't try to get it as dark as I need to the first time around. Notice how I go and I adjust. And I may adjust 3 or 4 times. So not trying to hit it the first time, giving yourself a little room to experiment. Is this big enough? Is it wide enough? Is it thin enough? Is it in the center? You know, all those things then give you a chance to get more quote unquote accurate as you get to. Because what I didn't like this is like a really short, stout thing, and I don't want it to feel too tall and thin. And I noticed after I did that first one that it looked more like kind of more of a regular vase. So I widened it. I widened those shoulders so that it's wider than it is taller, that proportion changed. And again, in a 5 minute thing, you don't have a ton of time to work with that. But as quickly as you can, try to train your eyes to accurately see those proportions. Is it short and squat, tall and thin and elegant, square and chunky, right? Those are all characteristics. It's beyond Izzy. She's like, what are you talking about? You're embarrassing yourself. That's all right, sweetie. That's all right. right? And that gesture is very important. See how I changed the angle of that turn towards the end? That's so much better than a big consistent turn, right? Little things like that make a big deal. And then these leaves, I'm just seeing them as a light dark pattern. And the background is going to be the gray. No matter how they read, we could do these all light, but right now, remember, dark is darker than gray, light is lighter than gray. So our value system goes light, gray, or background, or air, and then shadow, 1, 2, 3, and use that to create these patterns. Right? After you have some experiences creating these patterns, we can play with different rhythms and stuff. But this is by far the easiest one to do and the most effective, honestly. The most effective. Right, there you go, baby girl. Good. See, you got the right characteristics of that. Nice. It's charcoal. Don't be broing me. I accidentally smudged her drawing and I got a bro. Uh, I don't know if I like this cadet stage. I know, but you just broed me. I know, it just, like I said, I'm sensitive. It hurt today. Toughen up, huh? Toughen up. All right, how's everybody drawing doing? We're coming close to the end in the next minute or two, so I'm either trying to say it's light or it's dark. This, I'm doing a cast shadow from that other leaf, and then there's cast shadow from each of those leaves on that, so I'm leaving room for that. I think I make it in time to then put the shadow on those. Then if I had more time, I would come back and mess with the relationship between the background and the shadow and the light and play with that. That whole leaf, let's just turn it shadow. Right? And now you see we've got our light dark pattern. And this is where, and this is what I think is really fun now when you take these big tones and start um, refining them, let's say, and getting closer, messing with the measure between the background and um, and the shadow or your dark. But alas, we are out of time for tonight. So I hope you guys got some good sketching in. Remember, you can always go back and stop. But I do hope that you guys will give it a try, even if you go back and work on them later. See what you can do in 5 minutes, right? And when you start, sometimes it's not much, but just get in the habit of moving along, right? We're going to spend plenty of time working. We spend 2 weeks a month working on a single painting. So we spend time slowing down, spend time speeding up too. All right. Thanks, Lori. Thank you. Appreciate that. Uh-oh, Claudia, sorry, had company till man, don't you know how to tell people to leave, Claudia? Hey, you got to get out. Don't know how to go home, but you got to get out of here. That's what Grandpa used to say. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I said Grandpa, not Grandma. So, all right, everybody, that's it for tonight. We'll be back Tuesday night. And then you may or may not see me doing some painting demonstrations. I need to work some more camera things out. All right, it was good to see you. Thanks so much, Sue. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.